when I was taking him out the video, I wish he would have recorded the whole thing for real. Like the whole, like how I was trying.
Blueface, keep me out y'all bullshit. Keep my name out your mouth, because I don't play with kids.
So let me break down the exact moment everything fell apart. Picture this, a mother who built her whole online image on being untouchable, unstoppable, always 10 steps ahead of critics, suddenly losing control in a single flash. Just like that, the power slipped through her fingers. Because when the truth decides to show up, it doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't care about spin, edits, or carefully crafted captions. Once it's out, it's out. This is the story of how Chrisean went from running the show to facing a decision she never expected. One piece of footage shifted the entire narrative overnight. According to multiple sources, she was allegedly in full panic mode. Not the usual social media chaos people brush off, but real pressure closing in from every side. The kind of stress that hits when outside authorities are no longer rumors in the distance, but an actual presence asking questions. Reports claim she was staring at an impossible choice: voluntarily give up custody of Junior for his well-being or risk the situation spiraling beyond her control. That's not internet gossip. That's a life-altering crossroads no parent ever wants to stand at. Now here's where it gets complicated. The spark that lit this whole situation, NLE Choppa reportedly went public with footage showing Junior experiencing what appeared to be serious medical episodes. In seconds, something deeply private was suddenly everywhere. What had been handled behind closed doors was now in front of millions. No filters, no damage control, just raw video circulating fast. And when medical footage involving a child hits the internet, the tone changes instantly. It's no longer messy online chatter. It becomes documentation. It draws public concern. It invites questions from people who take child welfare seriously. The videos didn't just trend, they triggered scrutiny that couldn't be managed with a statement post or a live stream. Sources say what shook her most was the realization that outside investigations don't respond to spin. You can't argue with procedures. You can't block official paperwork. When agencies step in, the stakes jump to another level entirely. The truth suddenly carries weight. Meanwhile, Blueface was allegedly sending heated messages toward Mama Choppa and Ellie's mother, accusing them of being behind the footage leaking in the first place. Tension between the adults escalated quickly, with blame flying in every direction.
Yeah, just YB, he a good artist. He may have some issues, but he a good artist. But everybody know you hoes with them folks. You did that.
Mama, can you be starved in 4 hours?
That's when people started asking the obvious question: where did the footage actually come from? Rumors moved quickly. Some whispers suggested that NLE Choppa's mother may have been the one who revealed the private medical details. And if you know Mama Choppa's history online, you know she's known for speaking boldly and keeping records. Past clips show her openly addressing family drama, talking about protecting her son, and making it clear she stands firm when she feels crossed. She's built a reputation for saying what she wants, saving receipts, and sharing her side when she believes it's necessary. But while the adults were locked in their back and forth, public focus shifted to something far more serious. Viewers began paying attention to Junior's body language in those clips, analyzing every movement with concern rather than curiosity. And that's when the conversation changed completely. People began noticing details they couldn't ignore: the stiffening, the pauses in breathing, the unusual eye movements. Medical professionals and concerned parents started weighing in online, pointing out how serious those signs could potentially be. Then, the clips were slowed down and analyzed frame by frame. In one moment, Junior appeared to be gasping, while Chrisean allegedly laughed it off as if it wasn't serious. That single contrast shook people. Doctors online began discussing the possibility of gelastic seizures, a rare type of seizure that can look like laughter but has no real emotion behind it. That changed the tone fast. What some viewers first thought were harmless giggles might have actually been signs of a neurological episode being misunderstood or overlooked. That realization hit hard. She was present in the videos, yes, but critics argued that presence alone wasn't the same as protection. At the same time, others pointed out that NLE has a history of bringing private family matters into public view. To them, this wasn't just concern. It was another example of personal issues being pushed into the spotlight for attention. The situation was layered, messy, and complicated. Then the timeline took an even darker turn.
Then you lied to the world and said that I planned this without you, and I ain't planned shit without you, bro. And then you say you're gonna take my kid away from me, bro. I swear to God, Blueface, I will fucking kill you, bro. You're not about to take my kid away from me, bro.
Claims surfaced online that Child Protective Services had allegedly been involved since Junior's birth. According to circulating reports, there had been a positive drug and alcohol test at the hospital. It was also alleged that Junior was diagnosed early on with fetal alcohol syndrome and vision complications. Some posts claimed Krishan left the hospital before CPS could formally arrive, and after that, the case reportedly went quiet. These are allegations that have spread widely online, though official confirmation has not been publicly detailed. Recent discussions about medical documentation painted a heavy picture. Junior has allegedly been described as having severe cerebral palsy along with fetal alcohol syndrome. At 2 years old, some claimed he weighed only 18 pounds. There were also claims that he aspirates food and cannot safely eat solid meals. Critics further alleged that certain medical follow-ups were delayed, saying Krishan leaned more toward faith-based healing approaches instead of consistent medical intervention. These claims remain part of online debate. Viewers pointed to visible signs in older footage: low muscle tone, difficulty sitting up without help, eye alignment issues, and clubfoot. When NLE made public comments, those medical conversations exploded into the mainstream. People began revisiting old images and videos. Some even claimed they noticed what looked like an inguinal hernia, a condition that typically requires surgery. Blueface allegedly shared images suggesting surgeries may have been delayed, raising even more concern about possible long-term developmental impact. The conversation shifted. It stopped being about who said what and started being about outcomes. A petition began circulating, with thousands calling for outside intervention to ensure Junior's safety. But another detail caught attention: NLE's detailed knowledge of Junior's medical condition. People questioned how he knew so much. Did he have access to records? Or was he being informed by someone close to the situation? The speculation opened serious conversations about privacy and boundaries. When it became clear that a physical confrontation wasn't happening, Blueface allegedly redirected his anger toward Mama Choppa. Reports claimed threats were sent, blending personal conflict with serious concerns about a child's welfare. The online environment turned chaotic. Eventually, NLE issued a public apology for going too far. But once something hits the internet, it doesn't disappear. Screenshots were saved, videos were reposted, old clips resurfaced, and were re-examined under a new lens. People began highlighting patterns they believed showed instability: irregular routines, questionable car safety in certain clips, lack of visible structure. They contrasted Krishan's nightlife and public drama with Junior's reported medical needs. To critics, the gap felt alarming. Online communities compiled timelines and posts listing allegations of substance use during pregnancy, unstable housing, untreated medical concerns, and chaotic live stream moments. Then the medical footage entered broader platforms, and that's when many believe official attention intensified. One thing became clear in the public discussion: once legal custody orders are involved, the story is no longer shaped by social media narratives. It shifts into the hands of the court system. The question that continues to linger is heavy. If these concerns had been circulating for 2 years, who was responsible for stepping in sooner? And how did the situation reach this point without stronger intervention?
Junior has severe cerebral palsy and fetal alcohol syndrome. This is why his voice is so high-pitched. The reason he always seems congested is because the things he consumes goes into his lungs instead of his stomach.
What makes this situation even heavier is the long shadow it casts over everyone involved. When people online started digging deeper, they weren't just reacting to one viral clip, they were building a timeline, stacking moments side by side, asking how so many warning signs could sit in plain sight for so long. The internet has a way of turning into a courtroom without walls. Every live stream, every post, every deleted caption gets pulled back up and replayed. Viewers began comparing early hospital claims, developmental milestones, and public appearances, trying to figure out what matched and what didn't. Some said the system failed. Others argued that social media chaos blurred the seriousness of real-life issues. And in the middle of all that noise was a child whose health became a trending topic. That's when the tone shifted from gossip to concern. People weren't just arguing about who leaked what anymore. They were asking whether consistent medical care had been followed, whether specialists had been consulted, whether early intervention programs were in place. Pediatric experts online explained how critical the first few years are for neurological development, how delays in therapy can shape long-term outcomes. Those conversations hit different because they weren't about drama, they were about science and timing. Supporters of Krishan pushed back, saying outsiders don't know the full story and that parenting a child with complex medical needs is overwhelming. Critics responded that overwhelming or not, accountability still matters. The debate turned into a clash between privacy and protection. How much should the public know? And at what point does public concern cross into necessary oversight? The more people talked, the clearer it became that this wasn't just about two celebrities clashing online. It was about systems, responsibility, and the uncomfortable reality that once something is broadcast, strangers feel entitled to weigh in. And they did, loudly. As more details circulated, the focus tightened around the idea of long-term impact. Medical professionals who commented in general terms explained that conditions like cerebral palsy and fetal alcohol syndrome require structured treatment plans, consistent monitoring, and adaptive support. They talked about feeding therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, vision assessments, and specialized nutrition plans. When people compared those recommendations to what they believed they saw online, questions multiplied. Was Junior receiving consistent therapy? Were follow-up appointments documented? Were specialists involved behind the scenes that the public simply didn't see? Supporters argued that not every doctor visit needs to be posted online. Critics countered that when health concerns are publicly dismissed, it creates doubt. The tension between faith-based healing and traditional medical care became another flashpoint. Some defended spiritual approaches as personal choice. Others stressed that faith and medicine don't have to compete, they can work together. Meanwhile, the back and forth between adults kept escalating. Alleged threats, deleted posts, cryptic messages, all of it layered more stress onto an already serious situation. Observers started to notice how quickly the original issue, a child's health, kept getting overshadowed by adult conflict. That dynamic frustrated a lot of people. They felt the spotlight was drifting away from what mattered most. Online petitions grew, comment sections exploded, and advocacy groups began sharing resources about recognizing developmental red flags. It stopped feeling like celebrity drama and started feeling like a case study in how social media can amplify a crisis. And once advocacy communities step in, the pressure changes. It becomes organized, it becomes documented, it becomes harder to dismiss as random noise.
Hey, I'm gonna decline your offer with a way better proposition for you. Take your son and stand him beside my son, and let's see which one of them motherfuckers know how to operate. Let's see, hey, hold your son beside my son. Let's see which one of them can hold their head up.
The biggest question hovering over everything is how accountability actually works in a world where personal lives are monetized. When family moments become content, the line between private struggle and public performance gets blurry. People began asking whether constant filming made it harder to separate genuine care from curated image. Others wondered whether public pressure might actually push better outcomes by forcing attention onto serious issues. That's the paradox. Exposure can protect, but it can also exploit. And once agencies are rumored to be involved, the stakes rise fast. Custody decisions, medical evaluations, court orders, those are not things you can smooth over with a post. They are structured, documented, and legally binding. If long-term neglect were ever proven, the consequences would be life-changing. But if allegations are exaggerated or misrepresented, reputations suffer in ways that can't be undone. That's why this story feels so heavy. It's not clean, it's not simple, it's layers of claims, reactions, defenses, and counterclaims. In the middle of it all is a child who cannot speak publicly, cannot explain what he feels, cannot clarify what is true. That silence is what makes people uneasy. Because while adults argue online and audiences dissect every frame, real developmental windows keep moving forward. Time doesn't pause for controversy, it keeps ticking. And the longer this situation drags through headlines and comment threads, the more people ask the same hard question. Who is making sure the right decisions are happening behind closed doors, away from the cameras where they actually count? And this is where the story stops being about viral clips and starts being about consequences that don't fade with trending hashtags. Because once courts, medical professionals, and protective services are even rumored to be involved, everything shifts into a different lane. This is no longer about who won the argument online. It becomes about documented evaluations, official recommendations, and decisions made behind closed doors. Social media thrives on fast reactions, but systems move slower and dig deeper. They look at patterns, they look at timelines, they look at whether consistent care was provided and whether concerns were addressed properly. That kind of review doesn't care about fan bases or followers. It cares about records. And if there were gaps, those gaps matter. If there weren't, that matters too. Either way, the truth eventually lands somewhere solid. What makes this ending feel unfinished is that the loudest voices aren't necessarily the most informed ones. The internet can amplify fear just as quickly as it amplifies facts. One clip can spark outrage. One allegation can snowball into assumed guilt. At the same time, dismissing every concern as just hate can be just as dangerous. Somewhere between blind defense and harsh judgment is the reality, and that reality usually lives in paperwork, medical charts, and professional assessments that the public will never fully see. That's the uncomfortable part. Spectators want clear villains and clear heroes. Real life rarely works like that. It's layered, it's complicated, it involves human mistakes, outside pressures, and sometimes genuine misunderstandings. But when a child's health is part of the equation, the margin for error feels smaller. People react stronger because the stakes are higher. There's also a bigger conversation underneath all of this about what happens when parenting unfolds in front of millions. Every choice gets analyzed, every delay gets questioned, every laugh, every tear, every reaction becomes evidence in someone's argument. That kind of exposure can create pressure that either pushes someone to tighten up and improve or pushes them to become defensive and double down. And when two households are involved with tension already there, the situation can spiral quickly. What might have been handled privately turns into a public showdown. Once that happens, it's almost impossible to pull it back. Screenshots live forever. Old footage resurfaces. Narratives get locked in. So the final question isn't just who said what or who leaked what. It's simpler and heavier than that. Is the child safe? Is the child receiving consistent, qualified care? Are the adults involved putting long-term stability over short-term pride? Those are the questions that actually matter. Because when the cameras eventually turn away and the comments slow down, real life continues. Development continues. Growth continues. And the impact of these years, good or bad, will echo far beyond any viral moment. In the end, attention fades, but responsibility doesn't.